Now 5:52 on this Tuesday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go.
A second suspect is now behind bars after a weekend armed robbery in Cloquet. As we've reported, the robbery happened at the Cloquet Quick Trip around 4:30 Saturday morning. Cloquet police say two men went into the gas station with weapons and stole cash before fleeing. Authorities found and arrested a 16-year-old boy Saturday evening in Renshaw. Then last night, Cloquet police announced the arrest of a 15-year-old Cloquet boy. Police say they also executed a search warrant, finding what they believe to be the gun used in the robbery and another handgun stolen during recent vehicle prowls. Both teens are in the Arrowhead Juvenile Center awaiting formal charges. We'll keep you updated.
Now, Duluth City leaders are now accepting applications for the District 2 council seat in a unanimous vote during a special meeting yesterday. Councilors established the procedure to fill the council seat vacant by former city councilor Mike Mayo. Applicants have until August 4th to submit their qualifications. Interviews will be conducted with applicants on August 7th. The top three candidates will proceed to a second round of interviews on August 11th. The final candidates will be asked more questions and be voted on by the council. The candidate receiving a majority vote shall be appointed to the vacant second district seat.
After months of delays, the trial of a Minnesota state senator is underway. DFL Senator Nicole Mitchell of Woodbury is accused of burglarizing her stepmother's Detroit Lakes home in April of last year. Mitchell told police she broke into the home to retrieve items of sentimental value, including her father's ashes. The trial was set to begin in January, but was delayed after Mitchell's attorneys petitioned to move it after the legislative session. Then it was delayed again after the shootings of the two Minnesota lawmakers. Jury selection for Mitchell's trial started yesterday at the Becker County Courthouse. Mitchell faces felony first-degree burglary and possession of burglary of theft tools charges.
Now, some Twin Ports first responders are headed south to help with Texas flood recovery. Members of Wisconsin Task Force 1 left Saturday morning for Texas. Now, these are photos of them packing trailers with gear needed for the mission. According to Wisconsin Emergency Management, 16 crew members will search for those missing after the July 4th flood. Some first responders from Superior are in that deployed crew. They could be gone for up to 2 weeks.
Essentia Clinic nurses and APPs continue to strike as negotiations between the two groups and the hospital. Essentia leaders say APPs, which include nurse practitioners and physician's assistants, conduct 44% of patient encounters and 88% of all urgent care encounters. Clinic nurses and APPs went on strike last week and are striking for different reasons. The clinic nurses are negotiating their first contract with Essentia, while APPs are seeking to be represented by the MNA union, a move Essentia appealed last year.
Now, an iconic Northland resort is changing hands after a multi-million-dollar sale. Thunderbird Lodge on Rainy Lake has been sold for $3.2 million. According to the listing real estate agent, it's the largest commercial sale ever on the massive body of water, making up 60 acres of land plus the facility. Thunderbird Lodge opened in the 1930s and is the only year-round resort on Rainy Lake. We're told the buyers are two local entrepreneurs who plan to keep it as a resort.